going over, which means this panel will be 8 minutes shorter. Stay on time for your photo ops, right? Right. I'm going to try to keep my answers brief so we can get more questions in. Same damn thing. One day I don't wear a hat to a con.
Okay, hi, I'm Terry from New Jersey. I'm very nervous, so let me breathe.
You're doing great.
First of all, you're one of my favorite bad guys that I hate to love and love to hate, so thank you for that. My question was for Charlotte, but I'm going to present it to you. Amenadiel took Charlotte up to heaven, and I'm wondering, what do you think her life is like in heaven afterwards? And if they ever did a movie, that's something they would explore.
Whose life?
Charlotte's life.
Well, oh, Pierce doesn't care. No idea. Next question. No, I don't know. I wouldn't even begin. I mean, hopefully she's on a beach somewhere with Daiquiri and away from all this horrendous stress that poor character went through at every given moment. She really had a heavy burden every time, in every scene. So hopefully she's calm. She's relax. Yeah.
Great acting job done by all, so thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Over there now?
Hi, so I was wondering what your thoughts were on Tom Ellis saying that Lucifer could be your Superman.
What did he say?
He said that Lucifer could be your Superman.
Whoa! I'm trying to figure out what that means. Is there a joke in there? I mean, sure. I thought it was funny on Lucifer that they tried to drop, I think, at least 2 Superman jokes in scenes. And I remember them all being like, is it funny? I'm like, Pierce doesn't know who Superman is, guys. And nor does he care. But it was fun to kind of play around with that. And sure, Lucifer could definitely be my Superman. Tom would look good in a Superman outfit.
Yeah, I was going to say he couldn't beat him, but I'll take it.
What?
I was going to say he could not beat your Superman, but I'll take it.
Oh, not beat?
I would say.
I thought you said be. Like, I can be your Superman baby.
No,
Like that song. I'm like, sure, Lucifer could be my Superman. Great question. I was just trying to be nice to you. Sorry. No, I don't know how that works. Lucifer against Superman. I don't know. I feel like Keanu Reeves' Constantine would have to like break us up or something. Because he could kind of like go between the universes in a way. I don't know. I could just picture Tom looking into Superman's eyes and being like, tell me your deepest, whatever he says. It'd be kind of cool to see what comes out. So yeah, thank you.
thank you.
That's not being nice. I'm like, I don't know. I got a question then. Sorry.
Hi there. I thought that's what she said too, so super confused. I'm Leanne, and I'm from Canada. And so really quick question. Just wanted to know how many rocks you think Kane had. Approximately.
You know, I showed up to set that day, and that was supposed to be like my house, and I'd never seen it before. Character's house. And I walked in, and I was like, because you never know where they're going to film in the house until they're moving the lights in the rooms. And I remember thinking, like, because it was somebody else's house that you rent for the day. I walked in, I'm like, what's with the rocks? Literally, I was like, weird. And then, like, we shoot a couple scenes, we come to the front door scene, and I'm like, you guys are going to use these rocks? Like, these belong to the people in the house. And set deck's like, no, we put those all in there, it's for your character. I'm like, why? And then I think Joe or LD was there, and I was like, what's with the rocks? And they're like, well, because you've lived so long, nothing can last as long except for a rock, and so these are, and I was like, oh, that's actually a good idea. But what I did in the rehearsal, when I opened up the door and Lauren was there, and she looks at the rocks, and I go, I like rocks. And she started laughing, and everybody started laughing, and they're like, keep that in, I'll do that in the tape. So that's how that came about, so, yeah.
Thank you.
I just talked to Lauren yesterday. She says hello.
Hello, I'm Elena. I'm from New Jersey. My sister, my mom, and I are here for my mom's birthday. And I was just wondering if you could say happy birthday, Elizabeth Taylor.
When was her birthday?
April 8th, but this was her present.
Oh, it's too bad it wasn't the 26th. That's mine. She must be an Aries?
Yeah,
She's an Aries, right?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, you know. You might want to know. Hey, this is really funny. Check this out. So, anybody who's into stars and charts and so I think that stuff's really interesting, and it's can be a good insight. And there's this joke going around that this high school boy, comes home from school and he's, Mom, what time of day was I born? And the mother turns around and she goes, whoever that girl is, stay away from her. And the boy's like, what? It's just like, no point asked what time they are born, unless there's some girl trying to figure something else out. I heard that the other day and thought it was funny. Yes, happy birthday. What's your name?
Elizabeth Taylor. That is not a joke. It is her actual name.
I knew she was still alive. Happy birthday, Elizabeth Taylor. I love your work.
If they were to do a Lucifer movie with the potential for a crossover, which would you prefer to play? Superman or Kane inside the movie? Because they're two totally different dynamics in how they would interact with Lucifer.
They're different characters. They look different. Imagine the look on Lucifer's face if I played both. I can just see him being like, oh. Tom would love that. Here's a funny little story about, his name's Tom, my name's Tom. The first day we were filming, the first scene, we were rehearsing, and it was like, Tom, and we were looking at each other, and I don't know if it was him or somebody was like, listen, we need to figure this out. Like, who's who? And I looked at him, and I'm like, well, it's your show, I think you should be Tom, I'll be Welling. And he goes, all right. And so on set, he was Tom and I was Welling, and just this morning, they're coming into the green room and they're like, so Tom, and we're like, okay guys, we're gonna straighten this up. But I don't know, I think if it was a Lucifer thing, I would probably lean toward playing Pierce. While we were playing, when I was acting on Lucifer, I remember talking to Joe and Ildy that Pierce should have his own TV show, that he'd be like a detective. And each season would be a different decade. Like you could go back really far, and then he would move on. Sort of like an Interview with a Vampire sort of thing, where they could show up at different places and then he'd be like a detective who's like, the underbelly of the city. Because we did that one throwback episode in Lucifer, which kind of gave me the idea. But I think they said. Very nicely, they said that their bandwidth, they didn't have the bandwidth for it right now, which means they're too busy. Because they are busy. They have like all these, they're like super busy and creative people. So to answer your question, probably Pierce, yeah.
I think that your series idea would have been a great way to show how he got his rock collection.
Yeah. Stealing rock, like he's there when the pyramids are being built, and he's like, oh, this will be cool. These might be something one day.
Hi, my name's Nancy. I'm from South Jersey. I've really been enjoying your work on the Winchesters, and seriously, right? So I was wondering if you happen to know if it gets picked up, whether they have spoken about whether you will continue to be on it.
I think, my initial conversations with Jensen, they all want the show to continue. I hope it does. Just like I wanted Lucifer to continue. And I think Jensen's production company just moved to Amazon, and I don't know, but hopefully he was like, hey, I'll move to Amazon if you do the show again. Hopefully that's the case. Plus with, Maggie and everybody and Drake, they love the show so much. I would love to see them being able to play those characters more. It's not like they're like, this job sucks. They really like the show, so I'm rooting for them. And I think there's always going to be a time where Sam makes an appearance, but I don't think it'll ever be like a every episode kind of thing.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, well, they can't afford it. That's why. But no, it's a great cast. It's a lot of fun to go down there and shoot those episodes. And who knows? Sam's out there hunting for somebody. I think he's got to find his wife at some point, right? So.
We're rooting for you to keep being on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, save Winchesters, right? Save Lucifer, save Winchesters. Save professionals.
Hi, my name's Mary. First off, I love your character in Lucifer, and I also love your character in Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2. Yeah! So, my question for you is, if Charlie Baker were in Lucifer, what is the first thing he would do?
I mean, does he know what's going on in Lucifer?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, he'd probably wonder why he looks like that guy Pierce. He looks like an older version of me. Yeah, I don't know. A couple years ago, I got the idea to do a Cheaper by the Dozen 3, where Charlie now has a family. Oh. Whereas, my idea was that he's married, and maybe he's got all these siblings, but maybe him and his wife are having trouble having kids. But then, they do get pregnant, and it's quintuplets or something. And he needs his family to come help. And so you get his memory you get Steve Martin and Bonnie Hunt as grandparents to come over, and it'd be a lot of fun. And just as I was sort of trying to sell that idea to get somebody involved, I found out that Zach Braff was cast to do the reboot, which apparently nobody watched. And who here watched it? Nope. Nope, not one hand. So I think my idea would have been better, and maybe we still can. But I think it would be fun to get the band back together. Yeah. Yep. There's not one person missing it. And Zach's a nice guy, don't get me wrong, but I was like, what is this all about?
Hi, I'm Anna. I live here in Jersey. Smallville was the first TV show that I ever got really into, watched every single episode multiple times. So I was just wondering if you could share a favorite memory from your time filming Smallville.
I'm sorry, what was the end of that? If I could share?
If you could share a favorite memory from your time filming Smallville.
Favorite memory? Well, the first one that pops into my mind was the last day that we shot. And because we knew the show it was our last season, which is a good thing because then you can kind of prepare for it to be over and maybe figure out what you're going to do next. And I remember going to the producers months ahead of time and saying, I don't want to work the last day. And they were like, oh, we can't. I'm like, no, I don't want to work the last day. In fact, I want to work the second to last day, but I want to be done halfway through the day. And they're like, why? I'm like, because I just don't want all that stuff. And so what happened, so we did it. We figured out a way. I was shooting something on the rooftop, indoors, and we were just about to break for lunch. And it was like, okay guys, we got it, time for lunch. That's it, it's all over. And somebody passed around the smallest drip of tequila in the smallest little paper shot glass. And the whole crew got together, and then it was like, the AD goes, well, we're on the wrong set. And the crew went that way, and I went that way, got in my car, and I drove to Los Angeles. That was it. It was that quick. I know with Winchesters, I was there for their last day of the season, and they did a big thing. I'm like, everybody get together, this and that, and I'm like, come on, guys. So I don't know if I'm just a party pooper or whatnot, but I think now, and some of you may have seen the podcast I do with Rosenbaum. It's been so long that I can look back and watch episodes and find a lot of fun stuff in the episodes. Where I think when you're in the middle of it, you just kind of try to keep your head above water and not drown, because it's just so all-encompassing. So I think if you listen to the podcast, there's a lot of fun memories that pop up while you watch it. Yeah. Thanks. Very long one. I told them I was going to keep my answers short. I'm not doing a very good job.
Hey Tom, how are you?
Hi, good.
Yeah, so my name is Faz, this is my sister Ryan. She's afraid to talk in front of people. So I'll ask her question and my question.
Okay.
Her question is, how do you feel about the ending of Smallville where you didn't get your own Superman suit?
I liked it.
Really?
I wrote the ending. Yeah, so sorry. My idea was inspired. I used to watch a show called 24 with Kiefer Sutherland. So when I was on Smallville, I couldn't wait to get home to watch 24. I was like, okay. Funny enough. And then later on, I ended up playing golf with Kiefer Sutherland, and I was like really nervous, fangirled out. But no, I wanted, the way they ended that show was Jack had to go. He had to move on, because he was being hunted down. But you knew he was out there, but you couldn't go with him. And that literally is what I tried to take to Smallville, because Clark needed to graduate. He needed to move on. But he needed to move on from Smallville. And I thought the idea of, in your own mind, what happens to Clark is so much more, interesting than showing what happens. And I know there's other shows that I've watched that have ended, and you never really like to see a show end, especially if you like it. But I think he's out there, and it's good to know he's out there doing good things, and it just lets your imagination go. I'm sorry you hated it.
My second question is, since you're part of the Crisis on Infinite Earth, how do you feel about not having your powers?
I thought it was fun. I remember John Cryer, in between takes, he was like, so how did Clark get rid of his powers? I'm like, I have no idea. He's like, they didn't tell you? I'm like, no. He goes, did you ask him? And I go, no. I just know that I don't have them. And he's like, I go, yeah, you'd think I'd want to know. And then somebody tried to say it was there was kryptonite in my watch, blue kryptonite in my watch, and I was like, no, I don't, was there? I don't know. I'm surprised how much we don't know when we're in scenes, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was a fun way to kind of come back and, show that one dimension of what could possibly happen. And to have Erica there playing Lois and the idea that he has a family, I thought that was sweet.
Thank you.
Yep. It was weird going back to the Kent barn, though. That was weird.
Hi, Tom. My name is Rebecca. My friend Lexi and I are really big fans. I have two quick questions. During the later seasons, when Lucifer is in hell, would you have liked to come back? And do you think ultimately Cain could have been redeemed, or would he have been stuck in hell forever?
Yeah, I would have loved to have come back. I thought that would. I don't know how. I mean, that's where you get Joe and Ildy, the brilliant minds behind the show, to come up with something like that. And it's hard for shows to revisit characters like that. If it's not set up. In Winchesters, it's kind of set up that Sam can come and go. But I think that for Pierce, it was, and for Cain, I don't know. I always thought that one day he'd get out of hell. I guess I don't know why. And if you were here at the panel earlier, I also thought he was going to come back on the show, which didn't happen. So there you go. I thought, yeah. But there's a lot of things. It shows sometimes, even though they maybe want a character back, there's a lot of things that have to happen, in the contracts and negotiations, and they don't always budget for another character to come back, and then. Then sometimes they're like, well, just kind of come back for nothing. And you're like, well, that's not how it works. So, does anybody else here want to work for free? No. So, yeah, I always thought he'd be back, though. That story I told earlier was true. I was like, how come they haven't asked me back?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Angela. I'm from Metro Detroit, and I loved hearing the story about I Like Rocks, because I wanted to tell you that was one of my favorite lines, mostly because my family are avid rock hunters, so. I immediately said,
weirdos!
Hey, it's how you spend time with your family. Sorry. Well, I sent that clip because it's just an inside joke for our family. Anything we like, we're just like, I like rocks. So, I really enjoyed hearing that story. Do you happen to have a favorite line that also comes with the story?
That's probably one of my favorite ones, at least that I remember.